Okay, anybody interested? Again, I'm taking a bunch of videos, sticking them together. This might be at the end or the beginning, but these are the rivets I just put in for the window trim, or I'm gonna put in. Depends on where I put this. 7/16 drill bit, 7/64 drill bit, and it says on the barrel 1/16 or 1/8, and that's what I just did, with all the complications that run in between. It's raining really hard, and this is behind my shop, so they got a hill and downspouts. This thing's floating. There's a pipe, but it's filled up with junk right there. So I just dug a diversion channel. The water dumps into that area, but this pipe is so plugged up, it's not enough water. It's getting through here. So I was on the window trim the other day, but I'm missing pins. So I got the seat belts figured out. Now I get the pins figured out. I got to clean up this track in here. I never did clean it out back up in the front. So crazy videos. This is the stuff all they don't show you on the car shows, you know. Now that I tried the trim, I know it doesn't have to be precise. What matters is the height. Put some of this old age stuff in here, but I realize that I don't have dementia, but I'm just starting to not be as sharp. So I'm just gonna, so what you do when you get old, you just gotta figure out ways to beat it. So if I can't remember, I'll just write it down. So 4 3/4. 11.5. Again, they don't have to be perfect. 20 5/8. Condensation on a Coke can. Well, something to do with this metal roof up here. They didn't put insulation on top of the roof. So I added insulation underneath the roof. I mean, I had somebody do it, but see where the floor is wet? In some areas more than others. It kind of like sprinkles in here from condensation. See how it looks wet over there? And wet way over there. It's not soaked, it's just moist. So if you get a metal shop, and this is to Bob, if you get a shop, make sure you insulate the roof so you don't have this problem. And again, maybe some of this water is coming up through the slab. You know, I just showed that drainage ditch outside. Maybe some of it's coming up through. But when I first got this place before it was insulated, I'd come out here and just opening the door, the change in its temperature, the water would just kind of like a mist. Now if you look at the car, as usual I'm sidetracking. There's no water on here. So maybe the water is coming up through the bottom. I mean, look over here. You know, I know there's a downspout right over there. Maybe the water is, so I guess another thing, make sure you seal your concrete somehow. Like maybe there's no vapor barrier under here. Looks like there are little raindrops. You see that? But yet the car has got nothing on it. Yeah, there's pieces of the old rubber dam on here. A screwdriver doesn't take it out. But this knife gets off most of it. I'm still gonna have to hit it with a wire wheel, I think. Another thing I'd say, if you're gonna get a shop, I don't know if I've already said this, get a ton of lights. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fluorescent lights with 2 bulbs. It's not bright enough. Actually, get LEDs. The other thing I would do, if I was to build a shop, I would not get those high ceilings. But you got to make sure it's high enough for the. You got to make sure it's high enough for the car lift. Look at. I don't know if you can see with that light. That's about 6 to 8 inches underneath, so that's why they built this high roof. But man, rather have like a shed roof, because all the heat gets trapped up in here, because heat rises. I don't know if you can see that. I can't tell in the viewfinder. But when I got this car, there was like surface rust all over the place. As usual, every time I start something, I realize I need to do one more thing first. So what's the point of putting these pins on without it being clean? I mean, it's clean here, but use this drill that I hate. Someday I'll buy another one. I'm waiting for it to blow up. I'll put it on reverse so it'll throw the stuff away from me. This works really good. Surprising. There's that rust right here. Gone. Yeah, I don't know why I never thought of this before. Put the drill on reverse, it'll throw the stuff away from me instead of in my face. Let's see. That's reverse. In this case, I want to be forward. I don't know why. This is why, you know, I was just watching a video and somebody saying don't work around it with long hair. You know, when that happened, I didn't let go of the drill immediately. I froze. Then all of a sudden my mind said, let go. But imagine if that was a big, powerful drill. Get some alcohol. Ah, it feels good. It feels really good. I planned for this. So anyway, I left out the key point I was trying to bring up. So the next day I go back to work because the world doesn't stop. You gotta keep going, right? We all know that. So we go back and the foreman's limping around. And I go, what happened? I mean, yeah, what happened? And he goes, the earthquake hit when I was, we're on this false work, they call it, all this wood and beams, and it shook, and he fell. I mean, I don't know how far he fell, but it couldn't have been that far. But it was weird. That was the one day they let us out early. I didn't feel the earthquake. And that's the end of that story. One more story. So we're working on, this is another day. I get to work, and it's, guys play, we're doing a remodel somewhere in San Francisco, in between San Francisco and Los Altos. And somebody's at radio, and they say, the story everybody knows, the planes that hit the Twin Towers. So, man, I remember I felt sick and kind of scared inside, but I didn't want to go home. I mean, I was the foreman, and I didn't want to go home and just sit there and watch the news. I asked the other guys, what do you want to do? Do you want to go home and just sit there and watch the news, or do you want to keep working? So they all said, let's just keep working. We don't want to just sit in front and watch this stuff happen, because it was stressful. So anyway, we're near San Francisco. In San Jose, there's a lot of planes, jets. So all of a sudden they stopped all the jets, all the planes. For the first time in my life, there was no jets or planes overhead. It was just a completely quiet day. And anyway, we felt sick all day, kind of, because it's like a shock. And so that's the story. Still trying to get to these pins. I'm trying to get to them for a while. Almost out of this stuff again. Covered my mark, but luckily I got it written down. 4 3/4. Put this in my pocket without putting a lid on it. Arm's okay. No, this isn't working. Anyway, back to what I started to do when I first walked down here a while ago, after everything else I've done. 3/8 to the center of that pin. 3/8. If you just get a nail punch and grind it to a sharp point, more. Now what I do with the nail punch right here. I just drill these holes on the wrong side. They're supposed to be here. What a dumbass. At least I caught it. Now I ran into another problem. Can't get that in there. I almost did it again. Not grabbing it. There it goes. There's always something, man. There's always something. Just keeping downward pressure. Got it. It's gonna be a little bit harder. It's not a turn. Some seam sealer. Double check. 1, 2, 3. I'll do a close up of that. Anyway, just double check. 3 and 4 at the corner. 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's none here. I'm sure they're stainless steel, but what the heck? Almost out. All that work I've been going through for those 3 lousy pins. I'll check the front. right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. I missed a little piece in there. Done. I'm talking about this for a week. That's one more thing off the list.